State Representative James Tallarico has a better chance of winning the Democratic primary.
Tallarico has been doing the media circuit. He did Joe Rogan podcast. He's been well received by Texas Democrats across the state, whereas Jasmine Crockett is mostly popular in her district. I think most, at least highly intelligent or intelligent Democrats don't see her as a serious candidate. I mean, even her history in office, she's been serving since, I believe, 2023. She's sponsored around 42 bills, and only one has passed the House of Representatives, and the other has just died in the Senate. So she's been largely ineffective just in her current role. I don't see how her running for a bigger role makes any sense.
The Republican primary currently features 3 candidates: Senator John Cornyn, Attorney General Ken Paxton, and Representative Wesley Hunt. I'm Chris Woodward.
And this afternoon, the Fed will announce its decision on interest rates. Hillary Barsky has a preview.
It's widely expected that the central bank will be cutting its benchmark funds rate by 1/4 point to a range of 3.5% to 3.75%, marking the 3rd consecutive rate reduction this year and the 6th since September of 2024, when the Fed cut rates with a jumbo 0.5 point move. This year, Fed Chair Jerome Powell and his colleagues slashed rates in September and October after judging that the labor market looked shakier and the tariff-driven inflation surge that many feared hadn't really materialized.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty P.
Every day, AFA offers biblical insight on issues that others aren't willing to touch, in the hopes that you'll become a world changer. That's why we're offering an in-depth worldview training course called Activate. 13 different professors teaching 18 sessions, all available online, including a printed workbook to help you apply what you've learned, and 1-year access to AFA streaming content to give you even more resources. Find out more about Activate and sign up today at activate.afa.net.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR on this Wednesday, December the 10th, 2025. And you might say, Tim, I hear a little spring in your voice. If you can have a spring in your voice. It's because it's going to warm up the next couple of days, and I'm so happy. Ed Vitagliano, good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
Wesley Wildmon.
Good morning.
Fred Jackson.
Good morning to you. And literally just a couple.
Because well, I know, but I'm just happy for those
who get.
Ed, repeat what you just said, because it's the truism
during the winter.
That's right. That's right. So it's going to, and I don't know about.
Wow, but Wesley's right. Yes. Starting
and we're talking about our geographical location on the planet, which is Tupelo, Mississippi.
The lows Sunday 23,
Monday
20 degrees.
I don't want to hear it. My fingers are in my ears.
That's right.
All I know is Friday is 65, baby.
That's it.
And Saturday's 57, and we're not even going to think of, whoa, hello. Sunday, boom.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I know.
So you got a spring in your step, but there's no spring weather after Saturday.
All right, now let me just say that what Wesley just did is a perfect picture of the relationship my wife and I have. Mm-hmm. I will say, hey, the weather looks like it's going to warm up, just like we're saying. And
half glass full.
Yes, half full. And then she'll say, yeah, but it's going to drop.
Half glass empty.
Yeah. I'll say, man, that food was good. Yeah, but it costs a lot.
That's right.
Wesley, be honest, you really don't care because you're a deer hunter.
Right. So
this time
I actually have a reason for the cold weather. If it wasn't for hunting, then there would be no good reason for cold weather.
Well, Tim, I do think about you on this because you have, over the last several years especially, really griped about the cold weather.
Is it noticeable?
Oh, it's noticeable. The older you get, the more noticeable it is for all of us. But I just wanted to encourage you because I know that when we leave and it's dark, that bothers you. But starting December 21st, I think, it's usually 21 or 22.
All right.
That becomes that's the shortest day, the shortest amount of sunlight, I think, of the year.
That's right.
And then from that point on, the day after that,
Yeah.
the days start to get longer.
1 minute.
Yep.
1 minute each day.
You know what? Just you saying that, my heart has been warmed.
So look forward to it, even before Christmas.
So you're telling me December 21st is the shortest day of the year
in terms of
for
amount of sunlight,
for us here in this hemisphere.
Well, yes, northern hemisphere.
The northern hemisphere, it's the shortest day, and then things start to turn around.
They do. They start to turn around. That's the way you should think of it.
But you know what? Here I go. But
you're going to bring me down, Fred?
They're doing away with daylight savings. No, I'm just kidding.
There are some people have this oh boy, it's going to be a little bit longer. That means it's going to warm up.
No.
This is coming from a Canadian perspective.
Right. Yeah.
All right, because we went through this December 21st thing.
Yeah.
But the coldest weather comes after that in
Yes, in
Canada.
January.
January and February.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Minus temperatures. So where I come from in Nova Scotia, you really got to wait to April or May. And then the days start getting shorter again in June.
And warmer, you're talking about.
I think the Lord knew where he was placing me on the planet.
Hot, muggy.
Yeah, and
summers of Mississippi.
I do like seasonal change. I do. I would not
really anything below 40 is just too cold.
Although I've said to myself, self, wouldn't you enjoy summertime all year long?
Yeah.
And Self has said, "You bet I would." but really, you appreciate sunshine and warmth when you have a little cold and dreary times.
Human beings, I have discovered, this applies to everyone else, doesn't apply to me.
Yeah.
But human beings can find ways to complain about anything.
Yeah.
So if you were born and lived all your life down in Florida, you'd be going, man, are you kidding? We don't ever have a change of season.
The salt off the ocean is just sticky.
It rushed your car.
Yeah. To your point, our younger years when our kids were really young, we go to Clearwater Beach almost every year.
Yeah.
And we go down there, and of course it was April. Oh, thank the good Lord.
Yeah.
That sun just felt so good. And you talk to the locals, it's so nice here.
Yeah, but summer's coming.
And then they would say, yeah, but I really like to be in a place where there's a change in seasons.
Yes.
And I'd say that's called the North.
Right.
There's nothing stopping you.
And in Nova Scotia, we do have summer in July.
That's right.
Yes.
We got 6 weeks.
Now, fortunately for my wife, I am not much of a complainer. Okay, but other people I've heard do complain a lot.
Because you stay in the house, right?
Let me call your wife.
Yeah. No, I tend to gripe.
All right, I will say there's one thing that's absolutely true. None of us can do anything about the weather. That's right.
That's right.
We're at the mercy of what rolls around.
Yep.
All right, you're listening to today's issues, not the Weather Channel, here on the American Family Radio Network. We got a lot to talk about, and it was good to have Ray Pritchard in studio with us yesterday. Brother Ray, and he's got the book. I'll ask him about it tomorrow. But
his Advent book on
so go
Keep
there.
Believing.
It's free.
Yep.
And it's a daily devotion leading up to Christmas Day.
Right.
I'm sure he has a hard copy, but you can do it online.
Yeah. KeepBelieving.com, I think is a website. KeepBelieving.com. All right, Fred, what's your first story?
Well, President Donald Trump has a boss. He really does. And he's admitted that from time to time. Okay. Her name is Susan Wiles. That's his chief of staff. Okay. She ran his campaign last year, a successful campaign. Well, she's chief of staff now, and she gave an interview earlier this week, and she said, he may not know it yet, referring to the president, but he's hitting the road. And he's going to be out there campaigning like it was 2024 again. Well, he hit
Prince.
he hit the road last night.
Party.
He went to Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, strong Trump territory, but he was there for a rally, and basically they feel he needs to get back on the road because the Democrats are really working up the issue for next year's midterm elections, being the economy. All right, affordability is a phrase or a word that you hear a lot from them. So, in his speech last night, what did he talk about? The economy, a whole bunch. Cut number one.
I have no higher priority than making America affordable again. That's what we're going to do. And again, they caused the high prices, and we're bringing them down. It's a simple message. And we're bringing those prices down rapidly. Lower prices, bigger paychecks. You're getting lower prices, bigger paychecks. We're getting inflation. We're crushing it.
Everything is beautiful.
In its own way.
Well,
was that inside or outside, by the way? I'm just curious.
It was inside.
Back to weather again.
I
that was
yeah,
an indoor arena?
Pennsylvania, I'm sure that's inside.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead, Ed.
I was just going to say, technically, in some areas, prices have come down. I think we are at the lowest gas price in 5 or 6 years. There are some prices that have come down. The reason I think you're going to, our listeners and everyone else is going to hear the word affordability is because I don't think those prices have come down enough across the board, and people are still feeling that in their pocketbook. And so to just say, what I'm saying is Republicans need to be very careful here. To just say Biden and the Democrats caused the high prices, we're bringing them down, is not going to fly if people aren't actually feeling that when they go and do their grocery shopping. So all I'm saying is Republicans need to be very careful to also address the things that are the issues and inflation that is still plaguing the American people.
Now, are you trying to put the words Trump and very careful together? Is that what you're trying to bridge there?
Well, he's out there. Those kinds of rallies are like parties for the faithful. And, nobody at a Christmas party or a New Year's party, who's going to get into discussions about,
affordability,
war, but so at those kind of things, I think you're going to, because it's red meat, you're going to get red meat, and you're going to get, the kind of responses, that you're going to get from your fans. But for the wider voting public, you're going to have to make some progress here. Anyway, I've talked enough.
But the gas prices are confirmed going down.
Oh, gas prices.
They've been definitely lowest in 5 years.
Yeah, very good. At the rally last night, and I think you can expect this at these rallies that Trump is going to be having across the country over the next several months. There will people will come up to give testimonies as to what President Trump is saying. One of those last night was Megan Hemhauser. She is a Pennsylvania mom, homeschooler. And she told the crowd how Trump's tax policies are really helping her. Cut number 3.
As President Trump said, I'm a mom, a wife. I homeschool my 2 brilliant children. And the no tax on tips is incredible. No tax on overtime is incredible for my husband. And it all comes back to our family. It saves us, and it's for the future of our children. And it's been such a blessing to be home with them and to have them here with me tonight, and thank you for everything.
So I think that's going to be the game plan for these rallies.
But voters have to be feeling that it's true for them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's something that I was talking to Dad about the other day in the hallway, is that I just don't, I'm not sure we'll ever, I think myself included and others could possibly be having an unrealistic expectations about what can be done.
Yeah.
And how far, I don't think there's any really going back. Now, I know that sounds a little cynical. I think it's more so catching up. And it's just a matter of how quick can we catch up to all the increases in food and electric bills and garbage bills and just the price of living. So
I just tell your mom all bills are garbage. I don't like any of them.
No.
in a metaphoric way.
Yeah, that's right. No.
Bills are just garbage.
But somebody's got to.
You're talking about like your monthly garbage.
Yeah, monthly garbage bill.
Listen, the economy is always the number one issue, or generally speaking. Maybe always almost always the number one issue.
Well, it's the top 3 no matter what, regardless.
Yeah, that's right. Especially in a presidential campaign or a midterm election cycle, which we're about to go through. I don't know, we're all looking forward to that, aren't we? Coming up for the next 10 months, all the ads on TV and interrupting our internet.
And the emails.
And the email. Oh, man.
Asking for money.
Be bombarded. So I would just say whoever's in the White House, historically, that party loses seats in the House of Representatives and perhaps the Senate. I don't know the history of the Senate as much as the House. They usually use. So that's staring the Republicans, Trump and the Republicans, in the face on how do we prevent, the takeover of the House of Representatives by the Democrats. And the economy will be a big issue. So Trump's got to get out there and say what's good about the economy, while the Democrats and the liberal media are going to be telling people what's bad about it.
Well, and the reason I think for that, what you're talking about, this historical pattern of the party in power in the White House loses seats generally for the House, like you said, in the midterms, is because whoever wins the White House in a presidential election year has, generally speaking, won because he has promised to make the economy better.
Yeah.
And then in the 2 years between that election and the midterms, most people go, well, they failed because things haven't gotten better.
Yeah.
And the fact is 2 years is a relatively short amount of time to turn around an economy. Presidents don't always have the kind of authority they need constitutionally to implement their plan. They've got to get the other party to agree to make changes. And so 2 years, you're probably not going to make the kinds of changes that you promised. And then that's why you get that kind of backlash in the midterm.
Well, can we expect, didn't he redo or re-sign the extension to his tax cuts?
Talking about Trump?
Trump,
yeah.
His team, didn't he
Is that
do
part
that?
of the big, beautiful bill?
I think that's part. Okay, so, I mean, he can at least say he did that part.
Right.
Within what he can control.
Yeah.
All right, next story, Fred.
Well, somewhat related, there was an election yesterday in Miami for the mayor.
Okay.
And for the first time in nearly 30 years, a Democrat won that election. And, of course, the Democrats are saying this is just another sign the nation is not happy with the direction that Donald Trump is taking the country. GOP strategist Hannah Cox on what she thinks the win by the Democrat there for the mayor's post in Miami really means as far as the midterms go. Cut number 10.
I mean, at the national scale, we're going to be watching every single race. And of course, that's just natural. People tend to have off years when you have a party in power. And I think that we can expect to see some other losses. The economy has not turned around in the ways that people were hoping it would under Trump. I think that's really going to be the largest determinant right now. We're still feeling the effects of the tariffs. We haven't really gotten the relief at the working class and middle class levels that people are hoping for. If that turns around by next year, then I don't think Republicans are going to have that much to worry about in the midterms. And I certainly don't think this one race in Florida is indicative of them having a huge, massive problem at a national scale. But I also think if we continue to see the same economic outcomes that we're currently living with, then we could see some big losses.
The other factor people are saying, the strategist with regards to Miami, obviously has a big population, Hispanic population, Latino population, Cubans, Hondurans, and others. And Trump did very well amongst them in 2024. And there is a belief that now that's what some strategists are saying, there is a belief that they are getting that population, Latino population, is getting concerned about Trump's war on illegal immigration, that it's making them nervous. So I think you're going to see that in some areas that Trump did very well in 2024. And we talked about this at our story meeting this morning about the images that people are seeing sometimes with ICE operations in various cities make people nervous. In fact, the AP story that we have on our site right now with regards to this Miami race it talks about people who voted for Trump last time, but they're getting worried about the possible impact on family members, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I think part of the way to minimize the blowback, politically speaking, on this issue for Republicans is to tie it to the economy. Okay, I got to say, now I expected the left to go ballistic when ICE was turned loose to arrest detain these people and deport them, and that's what they're doing. The left is the one creating a lot of the the violence that appears in the confrontations over snatching somebody up. But I am kind of surprised that the American people haven't turned against this more than they have because of the images. And the images are everywhere on social media, so Americans are seeing it. I thought they might react more strongly to it. I think the reason they haven't is that they understand this has to happen because of the economic impact, the impact on their local hospital or on SNAP benefits and all these things economically, driving wages down. I think the American people caught on during the Biden administration that all these people flooding the country illegally was having an effect on their pocketbook. And I think that's why Americans are still fairly patient about this process.
And also, too, the first level of promise from the Trump administration when he was campaigning was to get rid of the not only illegal immigrants, but those that have committed violent crimes.
Right.
And so with that being the lead point, it's hard to – it gets the attention of your everyday hardworking American citizen.
Right.
And they're in support of that almost regardless of how you get it done.
Yeah. Right.
Now that doesn't mean that will change as as it gets down to the others.
Yeah.
But if it's an illegal criminal alien, they just about don't care how you get them out.
Right.
Or the appearance of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I've said before on many occasions, it never looks good on TV when law enforcement have to really crack down on somebody or people. And it's the same with ICE. I mean, they're not going after they're not going after just people who they're going after people who, when they see them coming, they're going to confront them. They're going to fight back. They're going to shoot back. They're going to run. They're going to act violently. I mean, because they don't want to be caught.
Right.
So when you get that on camera, and these ICE agents are oftentimes having to, I'm not an expert on this, but these ICE agents are often like SWAT teams. They've got to come in and swoop down on somebody who's leaving the grocery store because that's the only place they can catch them.
Right.
They can't let them go. Now, who are they detaining? Who are they arresting? Who are they deporting? I don't know, except they tell us these are people who have outstanding. Either they're supposed to have left the country, or they were supposed to appear at a hearing 20 years ago, or they've been involved in gang activity. That happens a lot. Drug running, human trafficking. They're bad people.
Yeah.
And so it really comes down sometimes to whether you trust what the Trump administration and the ICE say that they're doing in terms of who they're going after, and who the Democrats say they're going after, which are people who are here maybe without documentation but aren't harming anybody.
Right.
Just living their lives peacefully. That's what the Democrats are going to say. That's what they're going to use to say that's who Tom Homan and ICE are really going after. You see what I'm saying?
And that is true, and that worked for a while. But I think the Trump team and with Caroline Leavitt and their press conferences, putting up the images of these criminals over and over again.
But these fake ICE videos are going around. The AI generated, like the ones in Gaza that were going around, which are fake, but they go viral. And many people believe what they're seeing.
Believe they're real.
They believe they're real. All right, you're listening to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network, but the Miami did switch for the first time in how long? 30 years?
Almost 30 years.
The mayoral race from Democrat to Republican.
Yep.
If you're a Republican, you're probably going, well, maybe
it's a matter of time.
I need to pay attention to that. Yeah, because that did happen, and maybe there's a reason that happened that we need to address on the campaign trail. In so much as they can address it on the campaign trail. You're listening to today's issues on AFR. I tell you what, let's take our break a minute or two early here. There's the music. And speaking of music, we've had that music for 30 years.
Speaking about 30 years.
That music right there we've had since 1990, whenever we started this show.
Think it's time for a change?
I don't. That's a question I can't answer right now. I think not.
It's too cold.
I think
it's
not.
too cold
it's
to think
too
about.
Cold to think
How
about
about some bagpipe music?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Every day? No. I can hear it at a funeral once a year, but I wouldn't want to hear bagpipes blowing all the time. I would throw things at the bagpipe man.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
The bagpipe man? Man, you're asking the wrong guy.
Well,
I can help you with marinara sauce.
Okay, we'll be back.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Our Creator intended for us to enjoy living. Those who feel the Christian religion concerns itself only with life after death miss a major portion of the message of the Galilean. He was very much concerned about us in the here and now. Using the common sense God has given us, and some guidelines Christ gave to approach life, we can set down some rules that will help us enjoy life if we will follow them, even enjoy life a little more than perhaps we do now. The first rule is enjoy living a little more by laughing a little more. A good sense of humor has never hurt a single person, and it has made life blossom like a flower in the desert for multitudes. Concerning laughter, Sir Max Beerbohm once wrote, "Strange, when you come to think of it, that of all the countless folk who have lived before our time on this planet, not one is known in history or in legend as having died of laughter." Thomas Carlyle, the historian, believed in the medicine of laughter so much that he once said, "No man who has once heartily and wholly laughed can be altogether irreclaimably bad." If you wish to enjoy living a little more, then laugh a little more. Two men were fishing one Sunday morning when they heard the church bells ring, reminding the people in the town that it was time to come to church. One of the men, feeling guilty that he was fishing rather than being in church for worship, said to the other, "You know, I guess we should have gone to church this morning." The other man, without ever giving it a second thought, replied, "Well, I couldn't have gone anyway. My wife is sick this morning." There's a good reason. And then there was a man who was having several distressing events happening to him at one time. He was telling a friend about his troubles. The friend, wanting to be of help to the man, told him, said, "Cheer up, things could get worse." And the story goes that the man with all the problems took his friend's advice. He said he cheered up, and sure enough, things got worse. Another rule to follow which will be helpful is this: enjoy your family a little more. Family life was intended by God to be an enjoyable experience, and it will be if we work at it, give it a little more of our time and effort. Children and grandchildren are to be enjoyed, so are parents and grandparents. Here's some practical advice from the pen of Ogden Nash. One would be in less danger from the wiles of the stranger if one's own kin and kith were more fun to be with. In the world in which we live, the family unit is likely to break apart, at least mentally, if not physically, if we don't make an overt effort to keep it together and fun to be a part of. Business and a few of the other things which often seem so pressing can wait occasionally. The family unit only stays intact so long. So enjoy the family. Make it enjoyable to be a part of the family unit. Take the time and make the effort to enjoy the family a little more.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
In him we were also chosen, having been predestined according to the plan of him who works out everything in conformity with the purpose of his will. Ephesians 1, verse 11.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. I'm Tim Wildmon with Ed Battagliano, Wesley Wildmon, and Fred Jackson. And if you listen long enough, you'll learn who our voices are. We are ourselves.
Who they belong to.
And who they belong to. So much to get to here. We encourage you to go to our news site. Keep up with our news. Fred Jackson is our news director. Tell our listeners what's available to them, Fred.
AFN.net. AFN.net is a great place to go because our team of reporters and editors every day keeping you up to date on the big stories of the day. Mm-hmm. And we also give you an opportunity to sign up for our daily email. Okay. You go up to the right-hand corner of that site, and you can just put your email address in there. All you have to do, and we will send you just once a day, Monday through Friday, a complete summary of the top stories of the day. We will not pester you. We will not bother you with anything else. That's what you're going to get, a summary. And it is great, as I've said many times before, great to share with your kids and take it to Sunday school because it has all kinds of interesting topics that your Sunday school class might want to discuss. So, AFN.net, AFN.net, go to the right-hand corner, sign up today for our daily Monday through Friday email.
So, the motto of our American Family Radio News is, quote, "We will not pester you."
That's right.
End quote. That's what Fred said. You hear?
That's right.
We will not. That is what I like about our approach here. You know, we're just going to send you one email a day in the afternoon that gives you a news digest.
Yes.
And we are, a Christian organization, so we care about what the truth is.
Yes.
We do. We care about what the truth is. So if you get our news and information, you're going to get as best in the world we can determine it what the accurate news is, or what the truth is.
And we touch on the topics that are important to conservative Christians. And, I often get phone calls with regards to covering Israel. What people appreciate, one of the things they appreciate, we cover Israel and what's going on with the Jewish people. One of the big stories of this past year has been the anti-Semitism that Jews have been facing in this country, and conservative Christians who support Israel and the Jewish people, what they've been running into on college campuses, et cetera, et cetera. And we actually have a couple of reporters that cover those beats, that deal with those kinds of stories. So, folks, there are other big news agencies out there. But one of the things that bugs me and why I emphasize we only send one email a day, I obviously sign up on these other news agencies, see what's going on, but they're sending breaking news like every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean Hannity gets the ham sandwich. It's breaking news. I mean, that used to annoy me. I don't, listen, still have a lot of respect for what Fox News does and their lineup, and I think they do. They do a good job overall covering the news, but the breaking news, bing, bing, or whatever they used to do, used to drive me nuts because they would do that over and over and over again. I'm going, that's not breaking news.
No.
And it may be new to you.
You made me turn my head toward the TV to see something like some big story, and all you're talking about is, like I said,
something that happened in Detroit.
I know that
it doesn't have anything to do with me.
Right. Yeah. It's raining hard in Chicago. News alert.
The Epoch Times, I know they do good work, and when they first started years ago,
who does the Epoch Times?
Epoch.
I guess that's how you pronounce it. Is it Epic or Epoch?
Epoch.
Oh, I got that one right.
You got that one right.
Hey, go, bro.
Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn every once in a while.
Or even a broken clock. Even a broken clock, right?
Twice a day.
Oh man, I think we should just stop there. Forget my point, right?
No, you got it. The Epoch Times.
The Epoch Times. When they first started a couple years, it may have been more than a couple years now, but I was really appreciated. I still appreciate their work and really good stuff. But they sold out or something. There was a big change a couple years back after the founding of it, and I've just checked out completely because of the emails. That's 100% why I've checked out. It is every 30 minutes. And then half of the emails they give you, they want you to give some money in order to read the story. And I'm going like,
it's
at this
almost
point,
always behind a paywall.
You know what? I would tell them, I will pay you if you quit sending me emails.
Yeah, I will keep it $5. No, I tell you what. In all seriousness, I'm right here at AFN. The story we just covered, right there, front and center of AFN. The Democrat wins Miami mayor's race. AFN, American Family News.
Yeah, folks, please take advantage of that. American Family News, that Fred leads our team over there. They do a great job, and we have, part of our ministry is dedicated to covering the news events of the day and doing so from a Christian perspective. And so take advantage of it. AFN.net. You can also get their app. You can get their news brief, again, once a day. Is that 4 or 5 days a week?
5 days a week.
5 days a week, once a day, and you get your news digest. And like Fred said, we're not going to sell your name or your email address. We're not going to bother you any more than you agree to take one email a day. That's all you're going to get, and it's going to have the news of the day in one composite.
What a great thing. How much does that cost, Fred?
Not a penny.
It's free, folks.
It's free because people write us checks.
Yes,
to support our ministry.
That's right.
Did you guys see this small plane that landed on the interstate in Florida, I-95?
Yes.
Is that breaking news, Tim?
Bing, bing, that's breaking news. It happened overnight. I don't know. Bing, bing's not going to work for breaking news. I'm going to have something more. Anyway, this plane.
It was a twin-engine plane.
Yeah,
and there's video.
It's captured on video of somebody driving down the interstate, and this plane.
This plane comes down.
Yeah,
lands on a car.
Cam.
It's a twin engine, and what surprised me, both engines quit. Tim, I've often heard you say you're not getting an airplane with one engine.
I'm not,
or one pilot,
or one pilot. It's not going to do it.
And I've adopted that same because when you explained the reasons behind it, I said, that sounds smart. The captain's safety, which is what my kids called me, I said, no, if it has one pilot or one engine, I'm not getting on it.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that's paranoid. I just think that's reasonable.
Who wants to be on a plane where you go, man, I wish I had.
Right.
Wish
I wish I'd have listened to Tim and not got on a plane with one motor, one engine.
But this one had two engines,
and they both failed.
And they both failed, and
well,
so
then you go. It's my time.
Now, I give credit.
My numbers up.
I give credit to this pilot, though. She did a very good job. I mean, the option that
putting all those cars at risk.
Put it down. He plunked it on top of a car that was moving along. The good news of the story also is that I think there were minor injuries to the guy in the car. The two people that were in the airplane, not a scratch.
And the person on the ground in the car that was hit was not seriously injured.
No.
So
praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Yes.
This happened, it looks like it happened at twilight if it was last night.
It was on the I-95.
I-95, somewhere in Florida. I-95 is the most traveled interstate in America, from Miami to Maine. And, this reminded me, our colleague and friend J.J. Jasper.
Mm-hmm. He did the same thing. He landed on the highway.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think he was in one of those single-engine planes.
Yes, he was.
It was, yeah.
And when he got down on the ground, I said...
We talked about this.
We talked about this, yeah. So
I remember him telling the story of that incident that he knew the sheriff of the area where the plane came down, and the sheriff's first word to JJ, why couldn't you have landed in some other county?
You
Look at the mess you created.
Paperwork.
Well, everybody was safe there too.
Yes,
thank God.
right. Yes,
everybody was safe there. But JJ and his co-pilot, they did have to land their plane on the. It wasn't an interstate, but it was a 4-lane highway.
I did advise JJ that he should check the fuel tanks before he takes off.
Make sure it's got gas.
That's right.
That's another rule of mine. I want twin engines, I need 2 pilots, and I need gas in the plane.
Yes.
Enough gas to get you going where you need to go. Where you need to go. All right, so anyway, thank God everybody's okay, but that did happen last night. It looks like last night. You're driving down the highway and you see a plane come over your head like these guys did who are filming this.
Yeah, this dash cam shows the plane coming right over them.
Yeah.
You've seen the movies that are the end of the world, a flood or whether it's
every once in a while.
Yeah, see those movies. That's kind of what you think about planes landing. Oh no, what's next?
Oh, I know what could possibly happen next. But there's no zombies getting out of the plane, though. Right here, what we're seeing. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Tim, Ed, Wesley, and Fred. Fred, what's the next story there?
Well, we've been talking about election campaign, next year's midterms. Images are important, the images that people have in their minds. Well, one image has been burned in people's minds in recent weeks are the efforts by our U.S. military to take out those drug boats. All right? We're seeing that creating a lot of controversy. I was watching an interview with the Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul yesterday. He doesn't like anything about this, and he's very outspoken about it. He, of course, been a lot of talk lately about the 2 survivors and the second missile that went in. This was the September 2nd interview. He doesn't even think, the impression I was left, that the United States should even go after these boats at all. All right? That's where he stands on this. So yesterday, the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, he was part of a group of 8 that went into a room to watch the video of the first hit, the second hit on that September 2nd incident. And Chuck Schumer is calling for a complete investigation of all of this. And
what's the controversy about that particular episode?
Well, the controversy has to do with the second missile being fired and the image that's out there, because we have not seen the second missile image, is that there were 2 guys in the water that survived the first missile. The debate is between people like some Republican senators is that these guys were trying to get the boat back stable again, and there's been talk that they were on the radio trying to get help, etc. The argument is that made them a legitimate target. It was a reminder, and there's been a reminder, that this decision to send this second missile in wasn't just made by Admiral Bradley, who was in charge at that point, that there were lawyers in the Situation Room that gave their approval, that said this was a legal hit. Not surprised, as I say, some Republicans are still concerned, but the Democrats believe this was an atrocity and even saying illegal. Here's a little bit of what Chuck Schumer had to say after viewing these videos yesterday, cut number 5.
It was a very unsatisfying briefing. Would he let every member of Congress see the unedited videos of the September 2nd strike? His answer, we have to study it. In terms of Venezuela, I asked them what their strategy is and did not get satisfying answers at all.
Now, he was talking about Secretary of War Hegseth there. Mark Thiessen is an analyst that Fox uses a lot, former presidential writer. He says it would be good, the Democrats would have greater credibility in their argument if they had made the same argument when Barack Obama was doing this during his presidency. Here's Mark Thiessen, cut number 6.
Yeah, where was Chuck Schumer's outrage when Barack Obama was doing it? Donald Trump has declared the cartels foreign terrorist organizations. Barack Obama launched over 560 drone strikes against terrorists during his presidency, including one that killed an American citizen, Anwar al-Awlaki. He did double tap strikes regularly. I interviewed David Shedd, his head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, which was tasked with all the intelligence to carry those out. They did double tap strikes all the time. They did signature strikes, which are strikes where you don't even know who the target is. You just know that they're behaving in a suspicious way, and so you take them out. My understanding is we know who these people are in most of these strikes. So I don't. And Barack Obama said my actions are legal and they're necessary and they're right. And I don't recall Chuck Schumer ever standing before the cameras questioning Barack Obama. So he's something of a hypocrite here.
I would say that Chuck Schumer is also being hypocritical because I'm just going by the clip we heard and the stuff that I've read. I have not heard. So when Chuck Schumer says, hey, we want to know what the Secretary of War and the Trump administration's Venezuela strategy is. Well, Chuck, Senator Schumer, why don't you ask Venezuela what their strategy is? Why don't you talk to them about the drugs that are being run from Venezuela to the U.S.? Now, I made my opinion on the drone strikes clear last week. I won't get back into that. I think it's a law enforcement issue, not a military one. But for the Democrats and Chuck Schumer to be criticizing the Trump administration not only opens up them, the Democrats, to criticism along the lines of what Mark Thiessen said, but they don't seem to care. This goes across the board when it comes to illegal immigration and ICE deportations. They don't seem to care about Americans who are victims of what these illegal immigrants are doing in terms of committing crimes, okay? And they also don't seem to care about what Venezuela's doing in sending all these drugs to the United States. To me, this should be a bipartisan issue. Everybody should be on board. You want to protect America. You want to keep Americans safe. We should all be on board in getting Venezuela to stop. And if they don't, maybe we need to take additional steps. Same thing with illegal immigrants. If they're committing crimes, they should be arrested, imprisoned or deported. You don't ever hear Democrats saying, yeah, we agree with that.
Nor do you ever hear them provide a solution or an alternative. Unlike Ed did, even though Ed and I had a disagreement on this, Ed actually gave what he would the alternative, another solution.
Right.
I'm not hearing anything from the Democrats of, okay, we should do it this way or we should do it that way. All they say that this is illegal while also ignoring the fact that this took place under the Obama administration.
What's Senator Rand Paul's objection?
His objection, he doesn't think any of this is legal. He certainly is not in agreement with the second missile September 2nd, but he's not sure that the United States should be taking out these drug-running boats. Now, he says we haven't really proven they have drugs in those boats. That's his opinion. So that's his objection, that we shouldn't be doing this. But here's what's interesting. A story came out yesterday or the day before. The Europeans are starting to do the same thing. In fact, there was video of a European, looks like a Coast Guard vessel, after one of these boats. Really strange. The boat looked exactly like the ones that we've been blowing up off of the coast of Venezuela.
And that was over drugs?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. They're doing the same thing.
It's I'm kind of torn a little bit on this issue because I lean toward Ed's. This is not a military issue. This is a law enforcement issue. Coast Guard, for example, although Coast Guard military, right? But I mean,
it is, yeah.
But I mean, if you want to stop boats from coming into the U.S. When they get into our airspace or our shoreline, I don't know what that extends to, 10 miles, 15, 20 miles. I don't know what the. Then
I think it's 12 miles.
Then that's traditionally been the way that we've handled it.
Yes, we've seen in the Navy has worked with the Coast Guard together to stop and arrest
when they get into U.S.
territory.
Mm-hmm. But in this,
I was just gonna say I'm just now pulled up this article because you're talking about Europe. Fred was talking about Europe.
I had another thought, but
go ahead. I'm sorry.
But that's okay.
Go ahead.
I can wait.
No, you go right ahead.
No, if you give me a second, I'll write down what I was, where I was, so I won't forget it. Like when I go to Walmart and tell why am I here?
Yeah, because you'll blame me, like my wife will blame me.
Yeah, but you have an excuse here. You don't have an excuse when you forget the milk.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were finished, but you go.
Really?
You go right ahead, Mr. President.
Sounded finished. Okay. Anyway, where was I? So I say torn because that's my view. If you were just to ask me what I think about this, but on the other hand, this is President Trump does a lot of things and has done a lot of things that's outside the box of our conventional way of thinking. That makes you think, well, maybe he's right on how he's handling this. And this is one of those cases where I go, you know what? I don't. If you ask me, do I like blowing boats out of the water in the middle of the Caribbean because we think there's drugs on there, or we would say we know there's drugs on there, going to the U.S., I'm going to say, well, if he hits about 5 or 10 of these boats and blows them out of the water, guess what? There's going to be some second thinking from the drug cartels about whether we're going to keep sending them out there.
There's a lot of money lost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So from that extent, President Trump and Pete Hegseth could be right, again, assuming this is legal constitutionally.
Well, it is because remember that when Trump became into office, he designated, there's a list of them right here. There's 1, 2,
oh, you 3, mean 4, terrorist organizations?
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah,
cartels,
okay. Narco-Terrorist.
And President Trump is right. I think yesterday he said this or something to this effect. Taking that boat out saved thousands of American lives from using those illegal drugs that could have possibly killed them. That's what he said, and I'm going, again, not talking about the. Is that particular statement true? And that's probably true. Go ahead.
Yeah, but we probably could end on the. I'll end on this, but
just blow us out of the water with your comments.
I know.
Can you do that?
I know that we, and for good reasons, we emphasize the drugs on the boat. I get that. There's a reason because it's the emphasis. But if you look at the way the White House, well, if you gave them 15 minutes to explain this is more than just the drugs on the boat. This is a ripple effect of sex trafficking of children.
Right.
This is the money that funds the actual terrorism outside the narco-terrorism.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's a bigger piece of the pie.
More sophisticated approach to dealing with these
cutting the head off the snake type thing.
I got you.
Well, to that point.
Yeah. Did you write down what you were going to say?
I do have something. Just
changing his mind.
Just briefly. No, I'm not changing my mind. But this does complicate it, what I'm about to share, going to what Fred had mentioned about Europe. This is a headline on a Fox News story. Europe literally being flooded with cocaine as narco submarines evade detection crossing the Atlantic. Portuguese authorities intercepted a narco sub with 1.7 metric tons of cocaine in the mid-Atlantic this fall. So I guess kind of to the point that you're making, Wesley, that these cartels are pulling out all the stops to make sure their cocaine gets to where it needs to go. I had no idea they had submarines, but
all right. So submarines, narco submarines.
It says right there, narco sub.
All right, go ahead, Wesley. Because I got.
No,
I'm
done. Go.
Okay. So I'm just thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
Narco submarines going from the Caribbean, right, all the way to Europe.
All the way to Europe. And from Portugal. I mean, from Brazil, I think.
Okay. If Tom Cruise
could
and Liam
Neeson,
if they need a new movie idea for their characters, Taken and Mission Impossible 37.
That's right.
I think we're on to something right here. Taking on the. Can you
drug
imagine Tom? You drop Tom Cruise in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and he swims down, and he opens the door
to one of these subs,
to the narco sub.
Takes them all on.
And takes them all on. You don't think he could do that?
Yeah, his goal is to be captured on purpose, and then he has a little bit of a pin where he escapes.
Right. See what I'm saying? You don't think that's a good idea for a movie?
I think it's an excellent idea for a movie. I'm not sure the Liam Neeson thing. I mean,
he may be too old to swim that far.
Taken number 8. Taken. I mean.
Taken again. The next movie's called Taken Again.
He had just about every family member taken multiple times. Yeah. I just started to think, well, what kind of a CIA agent are you, or former? Anyway, but it is a cool idea for Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Top Gun.
Maybe he could.
Top Gun for sure.
Top Gun 3. I'm just thinking out loud here. Okay, we're just thinking out loud. Maybe take a jet ski and leave Spain or I guess Portugal, and head out to the
If
land.
a jet ski leaves
Madrid
Caracas
at 70 miles an hour.
traveling east.
I'm just saying.
Better have a full tank.
Yeah.
Well, I'll call Tom Cruise's agent.
He's in his 60s, and Liam
Neeson.
Yeah, he's in his. He's about 70 something.
Yeah, he's.
I don't think he can do another taking.
I don't. So I think if someone else gets taken, he ought to just go. I'm sorry,
Listen,
my job is done.
I've saved 6 of you people.
You got taken again. It's on you.
You're stupid enough to go to that country.
Hey, you're stupid enough to get taken again. I'm not coming after you a second time.
That one's on you.
That'd be a short
Am
movie.
I right, Jason Bourne?
Your mistake. Yes, Jason Bourne.
No, Jason Bourne. He's out there again.
Yeah,
running.
He's got another movie.
He's running around the world. Huh?
How much money do these guys need? I'm assuming this is done.
I don't know. No, I don't know if
money.
Jason Bourne has another movie. How many movies did they have?
Matt Damon.
Was that like 3? Was that 3?
Well, he was in 3 or 4 of them.
Of the Bourne movies?
Yeah, they had a prequel or a side quel or something like that with another actor.
I hate
the prequels. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not going to. That's not good storytelling right there.
Nope.
All right. Well, we shall, Fred, thank you for your contribution.
All righty.
And Wesley, thank you for your kill 'em all insight.
You're welcome. By the way, I actually stopped myself.
He did. He held back.
I held back.
So, all right, we're going to take a short time out right here for news, brought to you by the American Family Radio News reporting team.
Amen.
With the aforementioned.
Breaking news.
And then breaking news, we're going to the popcorn machine right here. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
No.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
It's been proven again and again and again. Bert Harper. The verification of the dates, the verification of the genealogies, it puts spiritual iron in my spiritual blood to know that we can depend upon the Word of God.
Exploring the Word, weekday afternoons at 3 Central on American Family Radio. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. Senate Republicans have finally landed on a plan to tackle expiring Obamacare subsidies to counter Senate Democrats, but both are likely to fail in a vote set for tomorrow. Democrats are intent on keeping Obamacare and want Republicans to continue funding it. Here's what the president said about Obamacare.
We're also working to bring down the cost of health care. Obamacare is a scam. Under Obamacare, trillions of dollars were given directly to health insurance companies. Obamacare's primary purpose was to pay off insurance companies.
This has been kicked down the road for a long time, but Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn thinks we're at a point where something could actually be done.
Indeed, they can, and we have our proposal that puts patients first and puts money in the pocket of patients. The Democrats want to continue to fund big insurance and to shovel billions of dollars to big insurance companies for the Biden-era COVID credits. They want to make those permanent, and we're saying, no, let's fix the problem.
Elon Musk reflecting on the Department of Government Efficiency.
The billionaire turned advisor to President Trump questioning whether the Department of Government Efficiency was worth it. Elon Musk on the Kate Miller podcast calling Doge a little bit successful, but says the now closed agency was not able to slash as much government waste as he had hoped. Doge was established to find waste in the federal government, make it more efficient, and save taxpayers' money. But many of the cuts by the agency face criticism and legal challenges. Several Republican lawmakers have proposed legislation to codify some of the Doge cuts. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Minnesota continues to make headlines for a massive fraud scandal. Over 70 people have been charged in Minnesota's Feeding Our Future fraud case, as officials feared racism accusations more than protecting taxpayer money. Talking about this on Fox News Channel, Commentator Jason Rantz said fraud has also occurred in other states.
And as much as this is immediately about Minnesota, you can look in California where unemployment funds were being given to folks, including folks on death row. And it was this big scandal. In Oregon, funds going into their drug diversion programs that were being misspent. In New York, with some of the contracts and the allegations around the contracts for hotels for illegal immigrants. There's all of this fraud because the system has been designed more for a political performance. This is performative politics. Than actually helping anyone.
Is standard American English a tool of white supremacy? A report says it is, according to one university. More from Bronson Woodruff.
Metropolitan State University of Denver has reportedly flagged standard American English. It says it's a concern for anti-racist initiatives. The concerns were shared on a webpage dedicated to, quote, linguistic white supremacy, end quote, according to Campus Reform. Zachary Marshall, Ph.D., is editor-in-chief of Campus Reform.
So I think this story really demonstrates that people who think standard American English is racist or a tool of white supremacy just really don't know what they're talking about, and they really are just delusional.
He explained the university's Writing Center's website talks about how teachers should be doing things to make everything anti-racist,
including letting students speak or use their own English, quote, whatever that might be, quote, when they communicate thoughts and ideas. This is ridiculous.
Marshall said grammar and words are constructed over time.
The English we speak today is not the English that was spoken 300 or 1,000 years ago, but grammar rules exist for a reason. There is a correct and incorrect way to speak.
He noted how in international communications, such as the ongoing peace deal between Israel and Hamas and Gaza, every individual comma, capitalization, name, and word matters.
Imagine what would happen to international relations, to international peace, if we just decided that standard language conventions just don't matter. You would never be able to do anything. You would never get peace deals done. The world would be in chaos and violence would erupt everywhere. And it's easier to call things racist than to actually confront the educational failures in our public education system and in our society.
I'm Bronson Woodruff.
And the U.S. stock market remains largely quiet today as Wall Street waits to hear from the Federal Reserve this afternoon. The widespread expectation is that the Fed will cut its main interest rate for a third time this year to bolster the job market. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Women going through the ordeal of infertility or miscarriage experience pain and loneliness that are too much for words. The Hannah's Heart Conference, January 30th and 31st, 2026, at Hope Church in Tupelo, Mississippi, can help bring hope and encouragement with biblical teaching from Jane Johnson and worship led by Phil King. For more information or to register, visit afr.net/HHC2026. afr.net/HHC2026.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the last 24 and a half minutes of Today's Issues. It's the name of this show on the American Family Radio Network. Tim, Ed, Wesley, and now Chris Woodward joins us. Good morning, Brother Chris.
Good morning.
So, we were talking about earlier last hour, bagpipes came into the conversation. I don't know how it came into the conversation. Does anybody remember exactly?
It's hard to.
Wait, Brent Cridley, our producer, he remembers.
I know Fred mentioned you mentioned our theme music.
Our theme music.
Our
Fred
show
said
theme
we
music.
should switch to bagpipes.
Yes.
And I said, I don't think so, right?
Correct.
And I went on to say, I like bagpipes.
You did say that.
But small doses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Like at funerals is what you said.
Maybe here or there.
That's what he said.
Or if I'm walking through the hills of Scotland or something like that, I like to hear
the heels.
Or watching a Liam Neeson movie.
Gentleman called in, Tom.
Oh.
He listens to our show, and he's a Scotsman who plays the bagpipes.
No kidding.
And he wanted Brother Tim to know that they are called bagpipers.
The bagpipe men?
Huh? What did I call them? Do you remember?
Bagpipe men?
Bagpipe men. That's not really offensive, is it?
No, it's not insulting.
But they're called bagpipers. That's what they're called.
What was his name?
Tom.
Tom. I have a question for Tom.
He said he was in movies.
Okay.
Does anybody know?
He's what? He
stars in movies.
He stars in movies.
Tom. He wouldn't give his last name.
Oh, that's Tom Connery.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, you see a lot of this in like TV shows and films, but whenever there's a funeral for like a fire department, somebody in the fire department or police department, and there's the big funeral, everybody's in their dress blues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's always a bagpiper, and I've always wondered, why are there bagpipes played?
I think it's because in some of those northern cities, there was a time when there were a lot of Irish and Scotsmen on the police forces in those big cities.
Okay.
So I think that's where that developed.
I wouldn't mind doing it. I just couldn't wear the skirt. That's the only thing that
It's a
gets
kilt.
me.
It's a kilt. It's not a skirt.
What's the difference?
Well, let's stop right there.
Well,
we're gonna get into Scottish culture and things like that, and we're gonna hurt some feelings.
It was mine was just a preference comment.
It's a kilt.
William
It's a real
Wallace
thing.
cleaned house wearing a kilt.
That's right.
Yeah, he
I'm not
did.
going to tell William Wallace he's wearing a dress.
Right now,
He can yell freedom all he wants to.
Claymore and
So the
make a few
bagpipes
adjustments.
are played by bagpipers.
All right.
Simple enough.
Good
okay?
knowledge.
Why
Good
do I
knowledge.
feel like we made this worse than we made it better?
That's what we do.
Usually do.
Well, as normal. I'm the one that's trying to keep this show on track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it out of the ditch. Chris,
After
what?
driving it there first,
That's right.
then you start saying, let's get out of this ditch.
All right, Chris, what's your first story there?
I bring in some good news.
Do you bring in good news, Chris?
Oftentimes, I ruin everybody's day with doom and gloom.
Can you get your pitch of your voice up a little higher?
I can. I sure can, sir. Okay. So the good news is this is a headline from Newsweek. Religion's long decline in America may be plateauing. After decades of steady decline, new research indicates that the number of Americans identifying as religious may have stabilized, signaling a possible plateau in the nation's ongoing religious transformation. This is according to some new research from Pew Research Center. And one of the experts interviewed by Newsweek says this is a striking change from the past few decades, which have seen measures of religious belonging, behaving, and believing dropping across the country. So this is very good news, and I think it's to the credit of various organizations, ministries, not just ours, but churches that go door knocking and are actually out there sharing the truth and the gospel with people.
Ed?
Yeah, I think there's probably a general tendency of human beings. We see this, it's in the Bible, kind of, that when things are going well, people tend to forget about God.
Their need for God.
Their need for God. In fact, there was a Abraham Lincoln. It was a national call for repentance, I think. He mentions we have prospered over these years, and now this war has made us realize that we have forgotten God. And we had things going fairly well for some of these decades, and the percentage of people who said that religion played an important part in their lives went from like 66% to 49%, pretty steep drop. But now things are getting I think people are becoming pretty insecure about what we're facing in this country, what's going on in the world, possibility for world wars, economic calamity.
We got narco submarines out there right now.
Narco
going across the Atlantic Ocean. You don't think people are worried?
They're worried about that. And so I think that it makes people search for something stable, and religion, and in this country, especially Christianity, fills that role. So I'm good to hear that this is plateauing. I don't know if my explanation is
Pew Research
is the only one out there. I'm sure there are several things that might have contributed to the decline and the seeming plateau. But anyway, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I would compliment that by saying that the left has gone so far left that people they're seeing the reality of what progressivism looks like, and now they see that a lot of people, a lot of young men are saying that didn't work. I don't like it. So then, what's the alternative? And they say, well, this is not. They've been lied to a lot, and so now they're looking for truth. And if you're seeking for truth, and you're wanting to find truth, there's You got the truth,
Yeah.
right, which is capital T, but you also have just truth in general that you get from Scripture and so I think that leads you to a more stable biblical worldview, which then leads to Christianity, which is why you're seeing a little bit of a plateau. So
that's Pew Research. They're pretty reputable, but that doesn't necessarily say Christianity, even though in America that's what we first think. No, it says this is the report from Newsweek. For generations, Christianity has played a central role in American society, shaping everything from voting behavior to community organizations, which is true. America is traditionally a Christian-dominant country. If you want to go for one particular religion, it's Christianity that has been dominant in the American culture and scene, but it has waned. The influence of Christianity has waned over the last, since secularism has, been in the forefront of our pop culture for the last 40 years or so. But it's good to see maybe that the bleeding out of the Christian church has stopped. That, on a general sense, that's a good sign, right? That's a good sign. All right, next up. Now, we probably need to do a show sometimes on what are the growing. We've talked about the dying Christian, at least traditionally, historically, Christian denominations or movements, and maybe the ones that are now growing.
Yeah.
That would be a good insight.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could have George Barna on or someone like
George
that
Barna on
to discuss that.
Yeah. All right, next story, Chris.
Well, in recent weeks, the federal government stopped production of the penny because it's not cost-effective anymore for we the people to be making
So
pennies.
they say.
So they say.
But go ahead.
So they say. Well, now it appears that if you're like me and you're still out there writing checks for things, I'm an older millennial. I still write checks.
I got a bunch of pennies.
Yeah,
you guys are springing something on me here.
You can still.
Are you saying that they're not? I can't.
They're not going to be minting any more pennies.
You can still spend them.
I think you were on vacation. Seriously.
Oh yeah.
The week that we covered that.
Spending pennies.
What am I supposed to do with my pennies now, though?
Well,
they still work.
the good news is there's something like 300 billion pennies in circulation.
Okay.
Which is why I personally don't buy the argument. This is what I said. I don't buy the argument. Yes, it does take 4 cents to make a penny, but they stay in circulation forever. It's like buying a car that you can drive for 20 years. You can't just go by the cost when you paid for it.
Right.
And a nickel costs 14 cents to mint. So
next.
We're going to stop making nickels.
We're going to stop making nickels, and I think this is a communist plot, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
I've actually, in all seriousness, I've seen several businesses in this area, and I'm sure it's not the only place, but they have signs up now talking about, due to the issues with pennies, please have exact change when paying with cash.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a commie plot, and I don't want to talk about it.
Well, here's another one.
I tell you, before you get to that, I'll tell you how to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Because I do have an answer to my own issue. In terms of pennies, I said I got a lot of pennies.
Yeah.
So I save change throughout the year.
Sure.
And I got a big collector of change.
Yeah.
In about 2 years, it fills up. Take it down to Kroger.
Yeah.
And they got this machine.
Yeah, you pour that in.
You pour that in.
Coinstar.
And it counts it up for you. Of course,
you get cold hard cash.
Of course, you have no idea.
It's true.
You don't, nor do you care.
That's
really.
right.
You have no idea whether that thing's counting your
You're not
change.
going to roll quarters.
They could be skimming me for $25, and I'd never know the difference, huh? I suppose what are you going to do?
You do pay a percentage.
That's right.
For the
they
machine
do say
to
that.
count
Yeah,
it.
the machine. But you pour all your change in the machine, and it counts it for you, and it gives you a cash credit, and you walk up to the counter, and they give you money. But so that's what you do with your pennies.
Right.
You don't lose any value for them right there.
And then the banks keep those pennies to take them out of circulation.
Yeah.
Because it's a communist plot.
You mentioned that, yes.
Well, here's another possible communist plot that people need to be made aware of. The Federal Reserve has requested public input on the impact of potential strategic changes.
What now? What were those 4 words you put together?
Requested public input on the impact of potential strategic changes to check services provided by the Fed. For people not aware, the Federal Reserve offers offers check collection and processing services at a fee to banks and credit unions. The issue is that in recent years, check use has steadily declined. Digital payment methods have grown in availability and use, and check fraud has risen. So the Federal Reserve wants people, banks, and private citizens to tell them whether or not they're still doing checks, handling checks, writing checks, all these kinds of things, because the checks may be going the way of pennies.
First of all, let's just, before we get into this discussion, because looking around this room, there's various forms of opinions on, on checks being used today. I think we should withhold judgment about whether somebody's a bad person or good person.
This is
are dumb or smart.
Yes.
Okay. Can we do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And can we agree that this isn't in the Bible?
Yes.
The Bible doesn't say anything about checks.
So it's not a core issue. Is what
Not
you're
a core issue.
I will agree to keep my judgment internal.
Okay.
And
Well,
keep
no,
it at-
I do want you to share it because this is a real issue.
Well,
this
we
is
can't get passionate about it unless we force it into a core issue.
Chris can. You heard how he can raise his voice.
Okay.
I sure did.
Okay. See, he gets up to Pinocchio levels.
Yeah.
If he really gets
I'm
excited.
going to be a real boy, Mom.
Okay.
I'm a real boy.
The Federal Reserve Board on last Thursday, I guess, requested public input. So they haven't made a final decision. I guess the issue is, where are we going with handwritten checks in our society? We seem to have we've moved away from checks, what would you say, 80-20? Maybe electronic transfer?
Well, this article says only 7% of people in our country pay their bills with checks.
We do a hybrid. We pay a few bills with checks and a few bills with the automation.
We do that as well.
Automated draft. Same for you?
Yeah.
I don't know if every place allows for an automated draft. It's a convenient way to pay your bills.
I know that there's, I think one of the utility companies in the small town that I live in, you have to pay with a check.
Yes. I actually got a passport earlier this year, and the State Department required that I write a check to pay for the passport. They would not take a credit card or a debit card.
Yeah, I want to let y'all finish. I have a slightly different problem.
Go ahead.
I have a different problem, similar category.
Okay.
I have a problem with going to check out at a concession stand, and they won't take cash.
Oh,
They
right there,
won't
man.
take cash?
Yes, a number of places don't. Our university does not. The concession stand does not take.
That's what I'm
cash
thinking
anymore.
about.
Is that because they don't want someone getting robbed with a bunch of cash?
I have not got to the bottom of it because I just stay mad that I never even.
I would be mad
here in
too.
town.
I'm
is
going.
cashless.
I
I'm
think
going.
that's going on across the country.
I'm looking at this and I'm saying you have 2 pizzas and a Coke and I have $20 and you don't want this. That's what you're saying.
Right.
And there's no processing fee here.
That makes you become.
Oh, you mean that when they use the debit card, it's not charging you an extra?
Yes, it does, but cash doesn't. That's the point I'm making. Like I'm saying,
that may be the point why they're not
maybe
taking
so.
cash.
But that gets me worked. I know this has nothing to do with the article you just wrote, or that you wrote that you were reading about, but it has to do with cash and money and with the way of paying for things.
Correct. And while we're at it, I don't want to order from the app. I want to order from a human being at a counter and pay cash the way God intended.
Yes,
that's right.
So it is in the Bible.
And this is
it's in the CWV.
This is an issue with Americans. This whole thing, all we're talking about.
Yeah.
Cash versus debit checks.
It's generational somewhat too.
But Ohio, remember Ohio is, I don't know whether it's passed, but they were, a law had been put forth which would require all businesses to take cash up to $500.
Yes,
and there's got to be a reason. People must be complaining that the businesses are not taking cash. And for a biblical perspective on it, a lot of Christians are leery of a cashless society and everything being run through a bank, which is run by the government.
Right.
And they keep track of everything you do, and they know how much money you got and all that. There is a spiritual component to that for a lot of Christians.
Something that strikes me with the Ohio bill or law there, I'm curious as to why it even needs to be brought up and made a law, because literally the money says for all debts, public and private, you shouldn't even have to. It shouldn't be a discussion. You should.
You shouldn't have to pass a law.
Correct.
Now, I can understand. We went to a restaurant last night, and there's a sign on the door. Well, it's not on the door, but it's a sign right beside the door before you enter. A sign nobody reads. The proprietor and the phone. Most people don't read it, but I was reading it last night. It said, "We don't take checks." So, but I can understand that. because checks bounce.
Yeah, checks
Yes.
and cards, I get all that, but cash is my.
I think everybody should take cash.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cash and credit card or debit card. A check,
I see.
okay, but that check.
Well,
a lot of
now, wait a
places
second.
still.
Now, I understand because I will say early in Diane and our marriage, when we were making next to nothing,
right,
we became really good at the art of floating a check. You guys all remember doing that?
I've heard of it.
I get
How does that work, Ed?
Well, you go out to eat on Wednesday, and you get paid on Friday. You write a check because you know exactly how long it takes for that check
You post
Right.
to go. Yeah, well, you don't post date it. It just takes time for the business
Right.
to send the check to the bank,
And
the
you know
bank-
that.
and you know that, and so we got very good at floating checks. I hope people aren't. I don't want Dave
You're not
Ramsey
saying
to,
this is a
or
good
Rob,
thing. You're just
or Rob West.
You're
to
just
crawl my
remembering
case.
back when we were dirt poor and you were a newlywed couple.
That's right. Okay, so, but my understanding is, man, like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when you gave a check, they would run it through some machine and the bank would either say yes or no.
Okay.
That there was no more floating
That
check.
must have happened after the internet.
It did. Yeah. And so I'm kind of surprised that businesses will say we don't take checks. Maybe they want their money right then.
Did you ever do that in the server or something brought your check back to your table?
Oh no. When I
Okay.
say I got good at it, there was no guesswork.
Okay. Floating checks. All right.
You ever heard that expression?
Yeah, I've heard
Oh,
it. Yeah, I've heard it. I didn't know exactly what it was.
Yeah,
But there
well,
was an art to it.
There was an art.
There was an
and I was
art
an
to it.
artiste.
Yeah. All right, next story, Chris.
This one, from time to time on the show, we warn people about scams.
We do.
And so this is continuing that discussion.
Scam warning alert.
I'll share this on our Today's Issues Facebook page after the show wraps. But there's a story on Fox News today, and the headline is, Why Your Holiday Shopping Data Needs a Cleanup Now. It says, if the ads you see in December feel a little too accurate, you're not imagining it.
If the what?
If the ads you see in
Ads.
December
Ads.
feel a little too accurate, you are
Okay.
not imagining
Ads,
it.
yeah.
The holiday shopping season is the busiest time of the year for retailers and for data brokers. These companies quietly track, collect, and sell your personal information. Every search, click, cart, ad, and purchase feeds a digital shopping profile tied to your name, phone number, email, and address. If you don't clean this up before the year ends, that profile is going to follow you into the new year. And you'll start to get more scam calls, targeted ads, identity theft attempts, and other things.
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted by this. This is a true thing.
Yes.
I usually order
Chris
my.
thought you were exhausted at him.
I did.
No, not
It's on his face.
I'm exhausted with scams and with people following you around.
Yeah.
I normally order books from a website called Thrift Books. They're relatively cheap. You can buy used books there. I usually do that instead of Amazon because they're roughly the same in price. But I want to take a little business away from Amazon, give it to somebody else, before they take over the world. And I will order a book. I will order a book from Thrift Books, and then when I'm on the internet, going somewhere, the same book will pop up.
Yeah.
And I'm just going, I just ordered this. I'm not buying it again.
Right.
But it shows you how tracked we are.
Well,
I looked for a Bruins sweatshirt. This goes back a month ago because my son for Christmas got 2 tickets to go see the Boston Bruins play in Nashville against the Nashville Predators.
That's a fun trip.
And this is a gift from his in-laws. And it's 3 seats, 3 rows back from the ice. It's primo.
Yeah.
But it's going to be cold. So I said, I need a Bruins sweatshirt. Okay, I don't have one. And I just priced them. That was it. I was just looking. I've been inundated with advertisements everywhere I go. It doesn't matter. Hey, you go on to Olive Garden. Oh, check up, and then a sweatshirt ad pops up with the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I'm exhausted with it. I can't keep up with it.
You know what's funny is some people, and there may be truth to this, some people think that like our phones are listening to us, and that's one of the reasons why you get the ads that you do. So later today,
Wait, let me cover my phone up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Later today, odds are you're going to be on the internet and you're going to get that book on the side of the page.
Okay, so Allison, my wife, was on a website we have to go to a meeting. We have to go to a meeting in Orlando in January.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
we feel obligated.
Yes. Okay. Well,
it's a friend we just can't say no to.
You got to do what you got to do.
You support a friend.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, got to support a friend.
Sure.
So she said something like, "Hey, why don't we go to the beach for a couple of days while we're down? If we're going to go over to Clearwater, or Tampa, or whatever." So
yeah.
She said, "Well, I'll just search and see what's available over there. You know what kind of."
Mm-hmm.
So she's searching, and then right when she gets through searching, bingo! Here comes this email in from a company that. Now, before you get too conspiratorial, as it turns out, it was the same company's website that she had already subscribed to.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it wasn't, but at the same time, it was somebody's watching you.
It was right on it.
And they knew she's on our website.
And we have her
email address. We know what areas she's looking for. So actually, it was a deal where we go, this is interesting. We'll look at this. Maybe we'll like to stay there. But at the same time, it was kind of eerie that you feel like somebody's right there in
over
the car,
your shoulder.
in the car with you looking over your shoulder going, what are they looking at? Because I'll send them something that's directly
enticing.
associated with that. You get that all the time probably with baseball. Stuff
I get that with everything. That's why. And I'm on a mission right now, just so everyone knows.
Yeah,
I do
delete everybody.
I'm in the process of unsubscribing. Now you can tell me what I already know.
Let me tell you about that, my friend.
They know that you're alive and real, but I'm just I don't know what else to do.
Anyway?
That's the part that when I say I'm exhausted, that's the part I'm exhausted with. Chris, your story was
just get a new email.
You need to start getting a handle on this, or in 2026 these people are going to beat you to death with their offers.
Pretty
much.
Yeah, and I'm just going. I am exhausted with trying to escape the grips of these companies. I'm in their clutches.
That's going to be a cause of death now. Exhausted from trying to not be scammed.
There was a song from the 1980s which went like this: "I always feel like somebody's watching me." And that's what our world feels like.
Yeah.
Today. Huh?
Yeah.
So you're exhausted with it, Ed, the whole thing?
If I didn't have grandkids,
right, you would
I
disconnect.
would beg Jesus to take me home. I'm just kidding. That's
You're that guy at the
probably
keyboard.
inappropriate.
Even so, come Lord.
That's inappropriate. But I do have grandkids. My wife might be insulted
but it was
that
funny.
I said that.
But if it was inappropriate, then was I supposed to laugh? Maybe my laughter was inappropriate. I don't know.
Who knows?
All right, we're done here.
Google.
See you tomorrow. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Wildmon, president of American Family Association and American Family Radio. A vacation with a purpose. That's what we call our tours here at American Family Radio, American Family Association, because